Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. What is
Yeah.
going on, Chip? What's going on, everybody out there in the On the Chain world? All those who actually have light. Apparently, I don't have any light.
Some
But
technical
today,
difficulties.
we had some technical difficulties while we were trying to get the drawing situation rigged up, for the drawing later tonight. So then we got some glitches going on from the technical type. Tonight, we're going to dig in because we want to talk about that $1.25 billion shockwave that you guys all saw happen and is going to have a major impact or minor impact on the space as we know it. But a lot of things going on right now because we've got Ripple's hidden road to global domination. That's right. You heard it here first. Global domination. $1 billion of global domination. So you guys know what the word is. Get the word thrown in there. We got a whole bunch of other things to go on. You probably saw the new thumbnail: crypto, XRP, and geopolitics.
There you go. Let's go. Hey. What do you guys think of the new thumbnail? It's like a little more so people can find us. It seems like maybe people have a trouble locating us, so we're trying something new.
The location.
So you guys can see it. Next thing we'll do is we'll be good. Let's go. Guys, where are you coming in from? Spaghetti. Yeti spaghetti. Fam is in the building. Adrian's here, man. That's right. Hoffman, Yeti. Got Yetis going on. Yetis, yeah, we got 6 of them so far. Guys are being shadowed. Oh, we are. That's been going on for a long time. Now they remove subs from us as well, which is really no fun. But
it's awesome.
Yeah, we hit 26. We ramped up to 26 fast, and they just keep taking them away from us gradually. So that's exactly what's going on, unfortunately.
It's been entertaining. Look at that. I got
there it is. I can never say that, Justin. Onaga, Kansas. He's going to give us he's already gone over this with us. He's already given us the way it's pronounced. So that must be, is it Kansas? You guys
Mark's coming in from 8 Mile. Let's see if anyone out there knows how to Nate. Well, you just gave it away. Let's say who can pronounce that one. Grash it.
I know.
You always get Gradiate.
Grash it.
People that aren't from there. How do you pronounce that? Gradiate.
Yeah, I know how to pronounce that, but I can't do Onaga, Kansas.
All right, great. You said it first the right time. I don't remember what you said.
Onaga. Okay, gotcha. I was like Onaga. You say tomato. Let's call the whole thing off. All right, good, man. I got it right the first time. There it is, right there.
There you go. Onaga. Good evening from Wisconsin.
Onaga. Ooh, Wisconsin in the house. Look at that. Hello.
Away from WI.
We got to talk about some stuff here. It's probably been shared all over the place, but we haven't given our 2 cents on it yet. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to kind of.
It hasn't been shared accurately. It's been shared.
Well, there's been, shared.
I haven't read anything.
I want to do a big shout out to all of the what do you call it? The audio only the podcast people listening, because those numbers are going up. And again, it could be some of you that could listen. Maybe you're in the car, you want to listen to it. I listen to a lot of podcasts. If I'm doing stuff or I'm walking around, or I've always got headphones in. I'm always listening to some podcasts. So
and audiobooks. I listen to audiobooks on 1.25 speed.
That's good. 1.2. Yeah, sometimes 1.5 is a little bit fast.
Well, 1.25, it speeds it up so it's entertaining enough. So, the readers makes it exciting. You don't lose anything.
Well, I wish you could speed it up without it getting changing the voice, because then it gets kind of weird. But the big news, obviously, this was yesterday, but Ripple announced it was acquiring Hidden Road for $1.25 billion. First crypto company to own and operate a global multi-asset prime broker. And I was talking with a friend the other day, a friend, and somebody very steeped in the crypto space, saying, "Hey," and we were speculating, "Look, what do you think the next acquisition will be for Ripple?" And
Daytona Beach.
Yeah, we were kind of speculating what would be, and I said a bank. Jeff and I always talk about that. I was like, hey, it would be a bank, but this is even better.
Right.
This is a global multi-asset prime broker. Together, Ripple and Hidden Road are bringing the promise of digital assets to institutional at scale, bridging traditional finance, decentralized finance in ways never seen before. And again, this is a huge thing because if you think Ripple's been doing some very strategic moves, they probably were holding back on this until the coast was clear, as far as the attorney stuff, Jeff. But I think that the custody, the software that does the transactions cross-border, the tokenization, all using the XRPL, and now this is like massive. It's a massive deal opportunity. It puts Ripple in a whole different position. And what's amazing is, obviously, Hidden Road was Ripple was used Hidden Road, but for them to acquire it for 1.25 billion. That's like the biggest acquisition that's happened in crypto. It's insanely large.
It's a big number. Things are going to start happening. We really look at it from traditional legacy finance. Which one was going to be first? Was traditional? Whoa, you see that?
You're glitching, Jeff. You're in the matrix is glitching, Jeff. Reborn John says yes.
Bizarre. This is so strange. Look at the glitch. The glitch. I'm glitching all over the place. I may have to reload in a minute.
I'm doing the sound effects while you're.
I'm tuning in. Feel like I'm tuning in from Mars.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. What the hell's going on tonight?
My God.
What is up, Jens?
That's bizarre. Oh no. It's getting even stranger. It's getting very bizarre. And I'm coming in normal, right?
Huge yoga yetis.
Look at that. What? I just got mixed up in the matrix.
Max Headroom, you're wiped out, dude.
I'm completely wiped out.
I don't know what happened to you.
I was gonna make a statement here. I don't know what's going on.
I don't either. You're wiped out there, dude.
Well, I'm gonna have to. I was gonna say something poignant about this. You can still say
it. We don't need to see you.
That's true. If you can run me through AI and reassemble me, that'd be really cool.
Well, the people on the podcast don't know you glitched. They're listening. They're like,
that's true. They're like, why are they? Yeah, who cares? Who cares what they can see? So the poignant part about all this, one of the things we talked about was, is it going to be financial institutions acquiring crypto agencies, or are the crypto outfits going to start purchasing a legacy financial institution? Chip and I talked about this a long time. Yeah, we've talked about it from a banking perspective. This ramps it up to a whole different level, from the, like you mentioned, and it's written there, the prime brokerage. Now it's putting Ripple on a different level altogether. I don't think there's another crypto blockchain company that, like you said, has made this type of acquisition, but beyond that is elevated themselves into traditional legacy finance the way Ripple has just done it, and so now it's going to be very, very interesting from an institutional perspective. Ripple is bringing it, they're going to bring the receipts. I don't know at this point, how involved they're going to be, from a government level. There's still, a lot to come from the Trump administration. We're moving in a direction of the unseating of the Federal Reserve. There has to be some financial backing. There has to be movement of funds, movement of money, and Ripple's, really playing their hand very, very well right now, Chip.
They really are, man. I'm really impressed with this move. This is a big one. And if you look right here, Hidden Road to migrate post-trade activity across the XRP ledger, XRPL, demonstrating its potential as the go-to blockchain for institutional decentralized finance. So institutional DeFi, this is huge. And what came with this deal, and so you sort of have like this built-in clientele that's just massive. This one kind of took me by surprise. I was like, wow. And it's funny because I was talking with a friend about this, and out of nowhere, boom, here it is, strong business. So this is key right here. 3 trillion annually across markets with 300 plus top institutional customers. These are all the big boys and girls, if you will. Okay. So I mean, 300 top institutional customers. You got probably the biggest institutional customers. And when they integrate it with the XRPL, they're going to be moving transactions, right? It's just a phenomenal thing. They've got the custody going on. So it's just perfect. They go on to say that Hidden Road will exponentially expand its capacity to service the pipeline, become the largest non-bank prime broker globally. Freaking huge. An inflection point for the next phase of digital adoption. That's the US market. Effectively open for the first time because of the regulatory overhang of the former SEC coming to an end. And then the market's going to mature to address the needs of the traditional finance, said Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple. With the tailwinds, we're continuing to pursue opportunities to massively transform the space, leveraging our unique position, strengths, and XRP to accelerate our business and enhance our solutions and technology. So it's pretty big. It's also going to reinforce the Ripple's USD, which is RLUSD, position as an enterprise grade. Because I'd imagine you get all these 300, these giant institutions. And again, we don't know what the list is. I don't think it's going to be made public, but you can surmise that it's probably pretty big, the list of players who's on there. Some people have already speculated and already done a little bit of research on who they believe it is, but this is huge. So it says that Hidden Road will in turn migrate its post activity across the XRPL. This is huge right there. It also sees potential to optimize cost and liquidity across cross-border payments, which is the Ripple payment software, provide critical custody services, and then to Hidden Road's customers who need bank grade digital custody. So it's like they acquire these 300 plus, the way it says 300, I've seen 300 plus, but they acquire these big institutional orgs, these big, and now they've got their custody solution, they've got their cross-border payment stuff, moving payments all together. It's just a big deal. New resources, licenses, and added risk capital to unlock significant growth in the business, allowing us to increase capacity of our customer base, expand the new products, and service more market asset classes, said Mark Ash, founder and CEO of Hidden Road. And I bet he's real happy too. Depending on who his round investors were and what their payout is, I'm guessing he's going to get a pretty beautiful payday. So together with Ripple, we're bringing that same level of trust and reliability into the institutional clients accustomed to the traditional markets designed and optimized for a digital world. So it goes on to say a bunch of other stuff, but that's pretty much it. Now, what's interesting here is Ripple already participated in Hidden Road's Series B and is a customer of its platform. So experiencing firsthand the strength of the team, technology, risk management, operational controls. So this is something unique also because they were also a customer and they were also an investor on a Series B. So when you raise money, you have a Series A, then a B, C, D, and it can go on as long as it wants. But each time a new valuation is done, and then based on the investment, based on the valuation, that's how the shares are valued. So, I mean, we'd have to do some more research to see what it was valued at when Ripple invested. But if they were part of it, I'm guessing they were part of the Series B. They said they participated, which means there were other investors. But it's funny because they will get a little bit of a payout, right? Because it goes back to the investors. They'll at least get their original investment back plus whatever, on the sale at $1.25 billion. What was the valuation at the time? That's how you know what the shares are worth, and that's how you can sort of regulate everything on top of that. So a big kind of a deal. Where the hell's Jeff? I have to text him, see where he's at. Probably rebooting his computer there, but RLUSD buying U.S. Treasuries from the Chicoms. I don't think so. There we go. Okay, so let's move on right here. Plus, a lot of people. Brad had his own 2 cents. Talked about the acquisition of Hidden Road, largest deals ever in the crypto space. But the price tag isn't really what's most important. It's the deal. This deal marks a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for crypto to access the largest and most trusted traditional markets and vice versa. And prime brokers, along with other key functions historically managed by banks by the most part, like Hidden Road, have proven themselves as the trusted intermediary for the largest hedge funds, market makers on over the OTC. I was going to say on the chain desks. That's not funny. OTC desk right there. It's on the chain. No, it's over the counter. Over the counter quant traders.
I felt bad, so I came back.
Oh, thanks, Jeff. Appreciate that. Ripple's been a customer of Hidden Road for years, and we know their breadth of experience firsthand, clearing $3 trillion annually, See right there, 300 plus. I saw it at the top financial institutions globally. So it's not just in the US, it's a global sort of a thing. This is the capital activity. And now you know that it's a one-stop shop. So you can get everything basically under the roof at Ripple. So when it comes to tokenization, when it comes to moving, data, custody, they have it all covered, right? So it's a big thing. It's a big, huge win. And I would imagine that if I'm Circle and I'm going for that IPO and we were expecting an 8 billion valuation, and they're probably only going to be 4 billion valuation, and 90% of that's going to go to the investors, some of it to the company, and the retail probably gets screwed out of that. There might be some glitches in the matrix today, man.
There's definitely glitches going on somewhere. Low volume on YouTube also. Something.
Yeah, it's hard to say what's going on exactly, unless my microphone changed. It was sometimes we come in here and it's always a challenge. There's always either something I got going on, it's not working right, something Jeff's not. For some reason, it always like foo-bars the settings, and it's like you can't. It's like, can you just like keep the settings? Like they're the same settings. You don't have to change my microphone. You don't have to change the camera settings. But for some reason, it just does. I don't know why I can't remember it.
You know what it was? I was laughing at people's videos earlier, so I think that was part of it. I was trying to fix something. I was trying to fix something on the car, and so I was working on that. I'm looking up on the video, and I'm watching these people's videos and cursing them. I'm like, why even make a video when it's horrible? It's just like, first of all, they're talking about the part that they're working on, and they're in it, and the camera's pointing in a completely different direction. And then they come to the part and it's blurry. I'm like, what? Why even make it? What's the
Sometimes
point?
They're trying to, they don't have a tripod, so they're trying to hold the phone.
Well, that's the other part. It's like moving around and it's all blurry. And I'm like, I get it. You want to help, but why are you taking up my feed with this garbage? So I think it's the YouTube gods are punishing
I always
me.
have issues with that. So instead of waiting for less than 24 hours or more than 24 hours to settle trades through fiat rails, Hidden Road will be using the XRPL for clearing a portion of trades, and most consequentially using RLUSD as collateral across its prime brokerage services, including cross-asset crypto and traditional instrument trades. Again, bringing a lot of functionality. With the deal back in Ripple's significant balance sheet, Hidden Road will exponentially expand its capacity to service its pipeline, become the largest non-bank prime broker. So it's huge. Brad was super excited about it. Got other people chiming in. Monica Long talked about the fundamental tenets of what both Ripple and Hidden Road are trying to do are the same: build better financial infrastructure for global movement of value than the walled gardens, fragmented rails, and monolithic entities of the past. Decentralized finance thus far has been primarily built for crypto natives. And so this is a key point right here that she's outlining that hasn't really been talked about. But this is where you're building it for crypto people, crypto natives. And these financial institutions are not natively crypto, but now they're getting to expand. And even if they're moving fiat currency, now you have the liquidity that was missing from the equation. But this is huge because it's now built, and she says today we have a chance to break down those barriers. She talks about the walled gardens. Through Hidden Road, for the first time, institutional investors are able to post multiple forms of collateral, and that'll be crypto and tokenized assets, and soon RLUSD, to one counterpart in the trade across 100 plus venues and liquidity providers that support 1,000 plus assets across FX, crypto, fixed income, etc. It's no small feat to achieve today. So they're bringing so much to this that it'd be hard for anybody once they get in this ecosystem, the tokenization, the storage, the custody solution, the Ripple. Jeff, it's going to be hard for them to get out of this ecosystem because it's a one-stop shop, basically.
Now that they're in, this is setting the tone for moving forward, something that you and I have talked about for a long time, without really stepping into, all sorts of exaggerated scenarios of, gold-backed XRP and all these other components of it. You and I stayed very tried and true, through the development of this whole, from over the past couple of years, seeing the direction things were moving in, seeing beyond where the lawsuit was going, seeing beyond the rhetoric of the SEC and the previous administration, understanding that eventually it had to unfold in a positive methodology, and it has to and had to and will continue to have to involve institution and legacy institutions, but it's bringing those legacy institutions into this blockchain narrative, right? So the genie was out of the bottle 2010 with Bitcoin, moved forward, the launch of every platform out there. It had to be more than, meme coins and everything else. And that's what gravitated, so many people into the XRP community, with this idea and understanding that there was something bigger, there's something better out there. It wasn't just putting money into a Bitcoin that's going to sit like a rock, like gold, gold in a safe somewhere, which there's a use case for. That's the use case. That's the purpose, that store of value and global recognition. But there has to be more. And that's what Ripple got everyone excited with, this whole concept. We're going to create liquidity. We're going to be the bearers of moving money across borders. And it was even more than that. There has to be so many other elements. As we dissected the XRPL so many times, the XRPL is probably one of the best ledgers that's been available to date, because of how many parts of the technology have been baked in for institution use with the FX and beyond. And the fact that it can continue to grow and build on, versus, creating new chains and, having to migrate that way. All the hate that that XRP and XRP holders have taken over the years, and this fact that Ripple was put onto the tip of the spearhead to, blast through SEC lawsuits and take all that heat, over the past couple of years, only to finally make it through to where we're at today, with a pro crypto administration that is bringing, not just the US, right? The US right now, and Trump, to take a sidestep, is in a similar position at the tip of the spear, trying to put things back to the way they're meant to be and rip it away, from all of these elitists out there that think that they can continue to control our economic well-being. And that's exactly what Ripple is doing. They were fighting, they were fighting the system that was so twisted and corrupted that they had to be the spearhead to salvage and save the crypto industry. It's such an interesting, when we start looking at it, the parallels of it. And here we are, here we're in such a positive spot right now. I'm more motivated now to see where our outcome's going to be and what can happen in terms of being able to build and develop in this space. It's going to be phenomenal.
And also too, leveraging the powerful XRP ledger is amazing, because originally it was just they focused on their one use case, which was cross-border payments, got into tokenization. Obviously, the XRPL has a built-in decentralized exchange, which is also a very cool thing, but it's just amazing.
It is. Look at this one, Chip.
There you go. Look at this. Justin, breaking the news, my man. Breaking the news. Just confirmed Paul Atkins to be the next chair of the security. Well, here's the good thing about that. They're going to have nothing to do with crypto. And it's the most beautiful, gorgeous thing in the world, except on the institutional side. But depending on how the legislation's written, they're going to have like very little to do with crypto. And they're why they can go back to regulating securities again, because it'll be the CFTC. And if the regulation goes through, we're not going to hear much about the SEC, and it's going to be the most glorious thing in the world. So it doesn't matter. I mean, Paul Atkins will go in there and dismiss, get rid of a lot of other stuff too, which is fantastic. But again, I don't see the SEC being involved that much. Ashish Burla, if you guys remember him, he used to be at Ripple. He's now on the board, but he said, I think this is so funny because we just talked about this, Jeff, but the strong liquidity around tokenized assets, stable coins, real world assets, paramount to a strong user experience.
That's right.
Again, and user experience equals adoption. And this is why this is such, it's probably one of the, I always thought the custody was a big deal, but this is probably the biggest development. And again, I'm very bullish on it too. David Schwartz chimed in talking about the acquisition of Hidden Road, a defining moment. And he's right about this. It's a defining moment of the XRP ledger and XRP. The prime broker clears upwards of 10 billion and processes over 50 million transactions a day. Let me say that again for you and Rio Linda. 10 billion and processes up to 50 million transactions a day in various traditional rails, waiting up to 24 hours for those transactions to settle. So now just imagine just a portion of the activity, a portion. I'm wondering if the ledger can even handle that. But if you take a portion of that, put on the ledger, it's exactly what Hidden Road plans on doing. So, Ripple is eyeing this, and they're taking the transactions over to the XRPL for good reason. Cuts out that 24-hour wait time. Boom, 4 seconds. End-to-end, total end-to-end use, not to mention the future use of collateral and real-world assets tokenized in the XRPL.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jeff. What do you want to chime in?
No, I was going to say, it's interesting. You're about to go to the next part of that, but I was going to talk about the fact that they have the RLUSD. The RLUSD, that settlement is pretty much instantaneous. Whatever amount of time. I mean, it's as near real time. You don't have to worry about FX changes. You don't have to worry about, having to, hold and risk any of your financial asset. There's so many countries around the world. And you and I, had talked about this, and there was actually, there was an X conversation going on, and we're referencing the fact, that you look at all these other currencies around the world, and we've talked about this so many times. The reason why others don't want to trade in many of these different currencies is because of the instability of them. Especially, there was so much attention and focus on BRICS. BRICS was doomed to fail because none of those countries get along from a financial perspective in terms of being able to rely on any one of their individual currencies, let alone putting all their currencies into some unstable basket of currencies, would be chaotic. But the inherent risk that anybody would take by putting it into a crypto asset with the swings that the crypto assets have, even a 10% change is detrimental, on your bottom line. So being able to put it into a stable coin that is USD backed, that is going to be on the XRPL with transparency, with fast settlement, it's a dynamic shift that, I think is another reasoning for, bringing this Hidden Road agenda now, by bringing this purchase now and seeing where this can lead us. It couldn't have happened, with the previous administration. And even now, considering the fact that we're going through this short-term tariff war that people are all up in arms about for about a week, and you saw, all sorts of people ready to burn everything down. And it's amazing because without going through a little bit of this short-term pain, we're not going to get the amazing long-term gain. So you have to go through the short-term pain in order to get through the gain. You don't get big muscles without working out. You don't get healthy without eating right, and so we got to go through this. We got to set the record straight. Even within the crypto industry, you can't grow without a little turmoil and being able to go through the day of reckoning so that it can be brought, to the legacy markets. And this is where, man, it's getting very, very, very cool, man. It's like, we thought going through the lawsuit, there was a lot to talk about. Man. I think now every day there's something to talk about. Every day there's more winning. Every day there's something new, and it's going to keep growing. We're talking about a complete change, a changeover. Right? It's happening. Very, very cool.
Yeah, I mean, and it's such a welcome thing, man. It's like out of the blue, but they were probably waiting to pull the trigger on this. I'm sure it was in the works for a while. This is Cassie Craddock. She is I think she's the managing director over at Ripple. Yesterday, massive day. She goes on to talk about it. Makes sense for several reasons. Allow our enterprise-grade USD-backed stablecoin to become the first stablecoin to support efficient cross-margining between digital assets and traditional markets. So it's, I mean, think about this. I mean, 6 months ago, there was no RLUSD, right? It hadn't been announced. It was announced, I think, last August or September that it was coming, maybe even before that in June, but it didn't actually roll out until December. But you look back a year, I mean, we're in the thick of, just coming out of XRP is not a security, this thing going back and forth at the SEC. You had the old guard there. And now RLUSD to become the first stablecoin to support efficient cross-margining between digital assets. Equally, Hidden Road will migrate post-trade activities across the ledger. So, I mean, it's a perfect marriage right here. It's a very good pairing, reinforcing the two as the go-to blockchain for institutional DeFi. And this right here should be the soundbite The XRP, you think about it, XRPL, the go-to blockchain for institutional. And what have we always talked about here? What have we always talked about when we talked about the institutional, grade, and what Ripple was trying to play a big game? They finally have all the pieces assembled to now execute and bringing it to the XRPL. I don't know, man. I think this is so exciting. I mean, it's just such a great development. All of us at Ripple and Hidden Roads, super excited about what's coming up, scale this thing, satisfy demand for Hidden Roads prime brokerage, clearing, and financing platform to accelerate the business and enhance our current solutions and technology. Phenomenal. CoinDesk even picked up on it. CoinDesk tokenized assets could grow. They were talking about this whole tokenized assets thing. Ripple BCG project, 18.9 trillion tokenized asset market by 2033. I actually think it'll be bigger than that. Tokenization of assets could save significant costs for asset managers, issuers, drive broader adoption, the report noted. The market of tokenized assets include, the report highlighted tokenization of money markets, private credit, carbon emissions, and use cases of operational efficiencies, unclear regulations, lack of standardization, and market fragmentation among the barriers for broader adoption. So that was kind of summarizing what the report was. You had Reese Merrick here. He is the Senior Executive Officer and Managing Director of the Middle East and Africa over at Ripple. He's floating, are we approaching the tokenization tipping point? Finance undergoing a fundamental shift as tokenization transforms financial assets into programmable, interoperable tools enabling 24/7 transactions, fractional ownership, and automated compliance. Jeff, we talked about just the impact alone in real estate, right? To do tokenized stuff. But I mean, tokenizing everything, again, there's so many big things going on. I mean, I feel like we're still early, but now the services are in place. So talks about the Ripple and BCG tokenization report forecast how the market could reach 19 trillion by 2033. If things go well, Jeff, it might eclipse 19 trillion. It's possible. And we have Marcus Infinger. So Marcus is the SVP of Ripple X. He says, driven by emerging collective global effort, primarily among the largest financial players, tokenization is fundamentally changing finance, transforming financial assets into programmable, interoperable. We're excited about the potential. And there's a video to play that, let me see, Jeff. Let me see if I have this video. I know there's a video on this that we can load up and watch. Where is the video? I think this is it here. Here we go. We'll play it. Here he goes.
Tokenization is reshaping financial markets, making assets more accessible, efficient, and secure. By streamlining transactions and enabling fractional ownership, tokenization reduces costs by up to 60% and accelerates settlement from days to seconds. After initial hesitation, financial institutions are now publicly embracing tokenization. With this momentum, by 2033, tokenized assets are projected to exceed 18.9 trillion and continue the growth. As adoption accelerates, network effects driven by efficiency gains, interoperability, and regulatory clarity will establish tokenization as a financial industry standard. Tokenization is not just a trend, it is the next evolution in finance. And it's happening now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, we could dissect that report. There's a lot in it, but I think the general over vibe is that 19 trillion by 2033 is pretty big. 9 trillion by 2030. So you can see it, what they're expecting, go from 9 trillion to 19 trillion in basically 3-4 years. It's insane to see this is happening. So anyway, good development. We just want to weigh in on it, talk about it. There's a lot more. We probably do a whole freaking show on it, Jeff. We're not going to, but Alex, she says, D-man, I'm late. Damn, I'm late. D-man, damn, I'm late. D-man. We're not going to Austin for Bags' party now. I don't even know what it is.
Probably not.
I don't know what it is. No, I think I got a heavy schedule coming up. I don't know if that's in the cards. I know people are asking about Vegas. We're not going to Vegas either. So no.
Not going to Vegas.
Going to Vegas. No Vegas in the house. Ain't gonna happen, Jeff. So we talked, remember all the hoopla the last couple of days has been about the tariffs, right? And the funny thing about that is everybody everybody's flipping out. Oh my God. And meanwhile, when they're doing the status quo and, inflation's out of control and eggs are whatever they cost, everybody's cool with it. Somebody goes and makes a big, bold move and everybody flips out. I mean, even the people on Trump's side were going nuts and, oh my, the whole thing is absolutely silly, Jeff. I mean, it's been incredibly bizarro. But check out Scott Bissett said this about blockchain.
We will take a close look at regulatory impediments to blockchain.
Sorry, the volume's low, so I hate when someone posts a video and didn't pop the video up, so you have to listen quiet. Listen.
Chain, stable coins, and new payment systems. And we will consider reforms to unleash the awesome power of the American capital markets. Americans deserve a financial services industry that works for all Americans, including and especially Main Street. Under President Trump's leadership, the Treasury Department and I will deliver that to you. Thank you.
What he's basically saying is screw Wall Street. It's all about Main Street. And he's talking about, they ran, what Trump ran on was to make everyday Americans' lives better. And, the Democrats say, oh, it's just the rich people. And then the Republicans say, oh, it's just the rich people. Well, they're a uniparty. And guess what? They both enrich the rich people always get enriched under a Democrat or Republican regime. They all get fatter. And what Trump ran on was like, let me make it's time for everyday Americans to get a piece of the pie. And it's about time they did. And so, I saw Charles Payne on over there on Fox Business, and he was saying, for once, he goes, do we care if Wall Street's whining or if Americans are not happy, right? So, I mean, sure, there was a short dip in the stock market, but it didn't last long, Jeff. I mean, I think the Dow had like a record day of all time of having more.
What?
Okay.
What happened?
Here it is. Is this the right video? Let me see.
For too long, financial policy.
There you go.
No more.
This is the better video.
This administration aims to give all banks the chance to succeed, whether it's JP Morgan or your local mortgage and loan. It aims to get capital to Americans who need it by getting bureaucracy out of the way. For the last 4 decades, since I began my career in Wall Street has grown wealthier than ever before, and it can continue to grow and do well. But for the next 4 years, the Trump agenda is focused on Main Street. It's Main Street's turn. It's Main Street's turn to hire workers. It's Main Street's turn to drive.
Man, I love this guy. Best Treasury Secretary we've ever had. This guy is just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, he's so wicked smart, man. It's great to have such a competent administration. I could really honestly say that Trump did not have that the first go round. And so here's Bissett talking about, he's talking about the tariffs in this clip right here.
This was driven by the president's strategy. He and I had a long talk on Sunday, and this was his strategy all along. And that, you might even say that he goaded China into a bad position. They responded. They have shown themselves to the world to be the bad actors, and we are willing to cooperate with our allies and with our trading partners who did not retaliate. It wasn't a hard message. Don't retaliate. Things will turn out well.
So yeah, almost everybody except for China wanted to come to the table. So I mean, this is what happens when you have losers. Like the mainstream media talking about this, Jeff. I mean, they were so wrong. I mean, imagine Trump goes like this: "Hello, world. I want to ask you a question, and I want to know, will you renegotiate your tariffs with us?" It's crickets, Jeff. Nothing. You're never going to hear a thing. He goes out there and does a mic drop. Boom. Raise it 50%, and then he came out with these unrealistic. Who didn't even know? I don't know who did the calculations on them, but if they had a 20% tariff on us, he said there were 60%, so he's laying at 30%. It was just brilliant.
This had to happen. Yeah, I mean, you look at, some of the other news articles that came out. You have Amazon canceling some inventory orders out of China. This had to happen. For too long, we've been saying this, that China has just been dumping garbage products into this market. Why? Because Americans, for the most part, have gotten used to ridiculously cheap products. Not cheap in terms of cheap in price, but cheap in quality. And the thing is that you had, the Targets of the world, they had introduced low quality product. You had like the Walmarts and all these different companies. They became known for that. You started to see them kind of raise the quality of what they delivered. Then you started to see it trickle down into other stores. So if you go into whatever sporting goods store, you get cheaper products. It's just like everywhere you went, there was cheap products. On automotive, that the build of the car, I was just talking about this with someone earlier. The build of the car was good, but then when you start looking at some of the finer details, the attention, the lining around a door frame, the lining around the window, all of a sudden you start seeing inferior product. You're like, well, the whole build is good, but why is this one little part inferior? Oh, that's the part they source from China. That's the part they source from Mexico. And then you start seeing this narrative. We were talking about this the other day. I've probably talked about this 1,000 times, but you get into textiles. For some reason, this whole notion of people wanting to shop at like a Ross, or, I don't even know if those TJ Maxx, I don't even know if those stores exist anymore.
Of course they do.
You had the Home Depot. Home Depot is a perfect example. You used to go in and you get quality tools at Home Depot. All of a sudden you get the branded product from Home Depot, and it's everywhere. Like every item you pick up is garbage. You can feel the inferior product. Oh, where's it made? China. Where's this one made? China. Why? Because they wanted to deliver a cheap product to the consumer. But the problem is that they also, were able to leverage that cheap product and make it even cheaper. They're making it over in China for pennies on the dollar, taking advantage of close to slave labor, because they're paying their people nothing in these factories. And then it comes over into these markets and the quality's bad. The product is cheap. It was horrible, and it's, kind of across the board is this expectation. At some point, we have to say enough's enough, and you have to find a way to put an end to it, to where they're just dumping their product into this market and ruining industry. Now, for many years, the crazy part about all of this is that they also have instituted and have gone out and stolen intellectual property right. And so when companies would set up factories over in China, the front door, they would release the known product. Out the back door, they would release the fake product. And it's mind-boggling. It's taken
Aaron trying to get some screen time, dude.
Yeah.
Tell Aaron he can't interrupt your rant. Aaron, Aaron, what are you doing interrupting your dad's rant? He was on a super cool rant.
Yeah, I heard.
You gotta come into the picture so people can see you. You gotta scoot down.
I'm about to study for my math test.
Well, is that why you got interrupted your dad? You wanted to talk about that?
No, I was getting my drink.
How'd you do on your video? Did you get your video cut?
He said it was really good. My teacher said it was really good.
Oh man, killer project, man. Killer project you got going on there.
All right, thank you.
The video came out really amazing. He presented it really well.
You have to send it, man. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
All right.
Peace. Peace out.
All right, thanks.
Peace. Study for his math test. When's the math test? Tomorrow morning. Of course you got it tomorrow. Morning. Of course it is. First period, right? It's like,
right, yeah.
Like the last minute. That's cool.
Menards, there's another. Dude, the video he did came out really, really good. So they present, as long as their school wins, or his team wins within the school, then they'll be elevated to go to districts. Once they go to district, then they'll go national. Once they go national, then they can put their product in front of VC. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, there's only 15 registered, Jeff. So you got to type in Yeti.
15.
Why?
Well, you know what's going to change that? Here's what's going to change that.
Jeff,
here we go.
Get it going.
When the badass Yeti from Blue Trial. Word of the day. Have your thumb in the wallet ready. Why? Because because this one's gonna be epic. Time to claim your legendary blue tribe Yeti. Pathfinders, name John Saxa. Let's go on the chain. Badass Yetis!
That was awesome. Who has a custom song for their giveaway? The NFT giveaway? Nobody, man. It's a custom
Nobody does.
song. I thought he said John Saxon. I was like, who's John Saxon? I was like,
Jar and Saxa.
I know John. It sounded like John Saxon. I'm like, who's this John Saxon character, man?
John Saxa.
That's
He
so
might
funny.
have said John
Everybody
Saxa.
said that too. I thought just can you go to that part where he says John Saxon?
I
John
can't. I would have
Saxon.
to play the whole thing again.
I think it's you can't scrub through it.
No, let's see.
You can scrub through it, dude. I thought he's
Bring the badass Yeti from Blue Tribe. Word of the day. Have your thumb in the wallet ready. Why? Because this one's gonna be epic. Time to claim your legendary Blue Tribe Yeti. Pathfinders, name John Saxa. Let's go on the chain. Badass Yetis!
I like that. Badass Yetis.
Badass Yetis.
It sounded more like John Saxa.
It did sound like John
It's
Saxa.
Jarn Saxa.
It's
But
John
like-
Saxa.
First I heard John Saxon. It was Jarn Saxa. So you know that's going to be a thing for an inside joke for the next couple of things. Who's John Saxon?
John Saxa.
You had to be here to know, man. That's it. You had to know what is Yeti.
Right.
Define Yeti. Define Yeti. Oh, that's a lot. Oh, you got 20 in, guys. We're getting there. We are getting there. Well, here, let me show you. Let me show you the Yeti movie. We'll go and play it, and then you'll get to see exactly what the. Here it is, right here.
Discover the awe-inspiring universe of the Badass Yetis, comprising 7 diverse clans, each possessing unparalleled abilities and strengths. The Mighty Titans are a formidable and courageous clan known for their immense strength and valor. These colossal warriors are celebrated for their fearlessness and determination. The Pathfinders, cute, cuddly, but deadly. Expert hunters and trackers, they navigate mountains with ease. They'll find you if you hide. Trust me, it's best if they don't see you. The Templars are spiritual and wise, deeply understanding the spiritual forces that shape their world. They believe themselves to be the defenders of just and righteousness. The superior craftsmanship of the Frostbeards enables them to produce intricate tools and weapons using the limited resources available in their surroundings. The Shiverspine clan is the most terrifying of the 7 clans, known for their exceptional agility and stealth and ability to move silently and quickly through the snow and ice. With their telekinetic and intellectual prowess, mentalists excel as powerful foes and sought-after allies due to their ability to mentally manipulate the world around them. The Spirit Walkers attune themselves to the earth, animals, and the unseen spirit world. Their exceptional communication skills enable them to connect with the spirits of the land and draw upon their force.
Man.
Damn, that's good. I forgot how good that was. I forgot how amazing that was, Jeff.
Cash.
One
That one
movie.
movie.
We're working. I mean, if we can get it going, there'll be an AI little animated little short first, and then we'll talk about a movie, we'll talk about a game, the whole thing, man. It's got a lot of big plans. We'll see. It takes some work, it takes some time, energy, and all that stuff, but that's the idea. That is the idea. I love that.
Game.
Clan Templar, there you go, right there. There it is, baby. There it is. You gotta love that. Jeff, I was laughing so hard today when I saw this clip because the Democrats are so mad. They're so enraged with their feelings.
Mhm.
That
I love their feelings.
they're just they can't even they start just like self-destructing. Like they don't even make sense anymore. They're just yelling stuff and they're taking away your Social Security and gonna push Granny off a cliff and we're gonna all this ridiculous like banter, and they're killing Medicaid. They want to kill Medicaid.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, come on. It hasn't worked for 40 years, and they keep going with it. Ain't taking my login away, son. Ain't happening, Rob McDermott, with that. By the way, put that back up again.
However, Rob,
put that back up.
Taking your Yetis.
That right there is a white tribe. That is a very rarity right there. That is an elder. There's only 7 of them, and Rob has one of them right there.
It's a beautiful elder.
Yeah, the elders.
Nobody ever wants to give up an elder.
So I want to show this. The guy at a hearing today, right when the news breaks of the Trump John Saxa. There you are. I mean, Mr. John Saxa. That's right, Mr. Saxa to you. So I can't wait to see who ends up with this, Jeff.
You didn't notice our names, right?
Yeah, I can't wait. So what's amazing about this clip is that the news just breaks. This dev is so angry. He can't even he just wants to start screaming. Listen to this, Jeff. This is funny.
Mr. Trade Representative, are you aware that the tariffs have been paused?
I am, yes.
When were you made aware of that?
Well, I understood the decision was made a few minutes ago. It's
sitting here
under discussion.
Sitting here under discussion. So did you know that this was under discussion, and why did you not include that as part of your opening remarks?
So typically what I don't do is divulge the contents of my discussions with
What are the
President
details of the pause?
Well, my understanding is that because so many countries have decided not to retaliate, we're going to have about 90 days.
No, excuse me? We are.
Jeff, he's so mad he can't even catch his words. He's like, "What? How is he gonna reveal it before it's revealed to the public?" I mean, really, Jeff.
China increased their tariffs on the United States. Trump blinked.
Trump blinked.
What's the blink, sir?
Well, no, Trump didn't blink. Trump raised it to 104, and then he raised it to 140. No, and they didn't raise it. They only came up to 80. So Trump didn't blink.
Are these guys in favor of the tariffs or against the tariffs?
I don't even know what they stand
where do they
for
even
anymore.
stand? They don't even stand for anything. That's the joke of all of this. You know, they just stand for nothing. They just stand for whatever they're saying at the moment. It's just too funny.
That's amazing. You gotta listen through this thing, man.
What do you know about this pause? What are the details of it?
Well, the details, as I understand it, is that China continues to retaliate. Other countries didn't retaliate. The president 2 or 3 days ago said we wanted to negotiate with those countries that asked for meetings. That's what we're doing.
What are the details? How long is the pause? How many days? How many weeks?
I understand it's 90 days. I haven't spoken to the president since I've been
So
in
the
this
trade
hearing.
representative hasn't spoken to the president of the United States about a global reordering of trade.
Yes, I have.
And
I've just been in the hearing with you, sir.
But yet he announced it on a tweet. WTF? Who's in charge?
The president of the United States is in charge.
And what?
I mean,
This is so ridiculous.
This is crazy.
You know, it's not just
about-
crazy, Chip. It's embarrassing. You know, it's so embarrassing to see them read through this. They're trying to flip the narrative. We just lived through 4 years of a president, quote unquote, that wasn't a president because there's no way he had the mental capacity to be in charge. We know what he used to be like. We know what he was like over the past 4 years. He didn't have the mental fortitude to take on any decisions for the past 4 years. And we just lived through that. So we know that there were all sorts of shenanigans and there's all sorts of corruption. There are all sorts of issues. And so we know that he wasn't in charge. So now they're trying to flip this narrative. It's so fake. It's so made up. And it's embarrassing that we have to sit through this charade that he's going to like pretend that you can even see that he doesn't even believe what he's saying coming out of his mouth. They instructed him. They gave him direct orders to say what he's saying. He doesn't believe it. You don't see it in his eyes. You don't see it, you know, in his posture. You don't hear it in the vocalization of it. He's like a fake angry. He's saying
He's just
things
mad.
that he's reading off the screen in front of him. It's so bizarre.
I like when he said, WTF, who's in charge?
WT, like, it's so bizarre to watch this. Like, it's embarrassing that the Democrats are even going down this path at this point.
Yeah, it's
a
like
complete
dude,
mockery. It's a mockery of our system.
Understand the first rule of holes. If you're in one, you got to stop digging because it's just not working out for you guys. I mean, you guys are the Democrats everywhere are just like imploding as a party here.
Those details.
Well, as I mentioned,
It looks like your boss just pulled the rug out from under you and paused the tariffs, the taxes on the American people. There's no.
Now the tariffs are. He paused the taxes on the American people.
These people are so close. They don't even understand finance. That's even the better part about it. You put an attorney into a seat of power, and they don't understand the financial infrastructure. They don't take a moment to learn economics. They don't study anything. They go into a briefing. They're told what to say. They go, you know what? If I need a lawyer, I'll go to a lawyer. If I need an economist, I'll go to an economist. If I need a CPA, I'll go to, not going to the attorney to get advice on anything economic. And it always comes out like this. Right. And then these guys don't even dig enough. It's bad enough, Chip. We have to read it on X. Then you sit and you watch these politicians pontificate over nonsense. It's so funny to watch.
Nonsense is about it. Like, I started watching. I said, what is this guy talking about? He's just like, when did you know? Why didn't you have an opening statement? It was just announced. And he's like, why didn't you announce it? Because it wasn't public yet. I mean, of course he knows about it, but he's trying to like hit him on so many things. Right. He's lost track.
Strategy. You just found out 3 seconds ago sitting here. We saw you.
Now he's mad that he just found out, but before he was telling him how come you didn't put it in your opening statement. Like, he's all over the board. It's just like, just trying to like, poke him for every possible thing. Now you just told us you just found out. Well, yeah, that's what he said.
We've been discussing a
variety
of.
If you came here knowing that you were going to be turned off, that these tariffs were going to be turned off, why didn't you include that in your opening statement? Why didn't you reference that as part of your testimony?
Well, I don't disclose my conversations with the president, sir.
These were specific questions. We asked you all along, what's the strategy? These are real consequences for the American people and small businesses. I had a group of small businesses in my office earlier today talking about the
bullshit. Exactly, Jeff. Thank you for saying it. Jeff, he had a group. Now, how do you have a group of small businesses? Like, that doesn't even make sense. A group. Listen, I had some people from small business. I had small business owners.
Small business owners.
Right? I had some group. I mean, what is he talking about? This is insane.
Impacts of these tariffs on aluminum and steel.
So wait a minute. Let me get this right.
God.
So small business owners were concerned about aluminum and steel. What is it a small business owner would be concerned about? Are they forging steel? Are they making aluminum? I mean, what are they doing? It's insane.
Maybe. This is amateur
what kind of
hour,
business.
and it needs to.
It is amateur hour, but you're the amateur, sir.
This is amateur hour, and it needs to stop. What does this even mean for your negotiating?
What does it even mean? Like, thank you for calling bullshit on your own speech here.
Strategy. How are you in charge of negotiation if the president is tweeting about this from wherever the hell he is?
The president was elected, and he runs the trade policy, and I advise him and execute his
Who executes the trade policy?
I execute the trade policy.
Did you know that this was happening?
Of course.
We have been discussing all kinds of
And there's another member of the cabinet, Besant, who just canceled coming to the Hill to avoid talking about the market because it's in turmoil. This in just days.
Scott Besant could run circles around these losers. I mean, how do you get into Congress? I mean, most of the time you're an attorney, so you've had some acumen. You spent some time at a uni, right? There's some kind of thing that happened here. I don't even know what half of these people in Congress. If I'm running for Congress, because I'm going to get up there and do one of my chip rants on all these things. No, I'll run for damn Congress. I'll do state first, and then I'll do. I mean, I got to do it, Jeff. Why not? I'll go there. I'll just start. And I'll love interviewing people and doing hearings.
It'd be great in DC.
Oh, geez, I'll get run out of there so fast, dude. I'll get my ass kicked to me. One term and out. They'll figure out a way to redistrict. They'll get me out right away.
Because there was no strategy. There was no plan. The president chose to take actions that he didn't even have the authority to take.
So, well, he did have the authority to take it. So, yeah, thanks.
He's put our economy in disarray and near collapse.
The Dow was up the record 3,000 points today. So
we have small businesses and Americans.
Don't forget to mention they were in your office earlier, please.
Who are concerned about their well-being, people's retirement, people's 529 accounts went down because of this administration. We have people that are planning.
It's weird. If you look at the chart, this was the Biden administration, and then it went back up, and we had a tiny little dip, and now everyone's worried about it.
Dude,
To send their kids
stock portfolios lost 60% of their value. 60% under Biden. 60%. We came back more than 60%. We came back that plus added, like it multiplied by such an amount in such a short period of time because of confidence in the market. Now there's obviously a setback. There's reasons for a setback. There's an orchestration of a direct prevention or attempt of preventing Trump from accomplishing what needs to accomplish. The big institutions of corruption, of the elitists, they're trying to hold. This has always been a power struggle, and they want to maintain their power and their influence. And this is what you and I talked about for the past couple of years during the previous administration. And before that, is that there's two powers that have been fighting, and you've got the Trump team, and you've got whoever's backing these guys, and is it Shadow? We know some of the players that are out there who are backing them, and you could see that there's this constant, power struggle. The people that are around Trump have got to be extremely powerful as well, because they obviously can't, they've been trying to take him out. They've been prevented from that, but this battle has been waged in the background and in the foreground, so we see it right in front of us. We see parts of it. But man, these guys, they're just so clueless about the narrative, and the fact that the economy went down, the fact that there was a sell-off. There are obviously big groups that were selling off to try to tank the market. Then it rebounded. It confused a lot of people, right? All of a sudden, people are like, they didn't anticipate this. But at the same moment, you saw the EU is trying to consolidate, as though the EU is a block. Somehow the EU is just has one representation of an economy. Yeah, they all operate on the euro, but all the countries have different economies, right? They have some very strong economies, some very mediocre economies within the EU. Then you have the issues over within the UK. Then you have Canada. But at the end of the day, they all realize that without the U.S. On board as a trade partner, because the U.S. is still one of the major consumers in the world, until a country like India or some other countries catch up to be major consumers of all their products, of all the goods of all these companies. In the meantime, China has indigenous product. India has indigenous product. They don't need the European economy. They don't need the European goods. They have their own goods. And, from a certain perspective, go to an economy like China, which has a lot of poor, has a very, has a middle class. Again, they're almost forced to consume China-made product, all the way up to the wealthy class. Same thing in India. India, 1.2, close to 1.3 billion people. 700 million of them live in poverty like you've never experienced ever in your entire existence. Yet they have a big middle class, but there's a lot of direct product, medical good, commercial good, air conditioning, whatever it is, electronics, all made in India for the India market. And, yes, they even have Tata Motors. They have motor vehicles. They have so many things that are made in India that what do they need? So the U.S., yes, we're a big consumer of their product. And then they realize as a trade partner, as a trade bloc, hey, turn your backs on us. You guys rely on us more than rely on you. Same thing in Canada. This stuff just aggravates the hell out of me. The Canadians, Chip, it's amazing to me, the audacity that they have. They're like, oh, well, we'll just replace the U.S. We're being courted by China. That's what you and I were texting. I'm like, yeah, they're being courted by China. China's actually courting Canada. Like, they need 30 million people.
By the way, I don't think they understand.
What does China need 30 million people for?
Tata Motors, I don't think they understand what that means over here.
Dude, Tata Motors owns Jaguar.
I know.
And Volvo.
Well, they made a
They
crucial
make a kick-ass car too. I like
Tatas. I mean, that's so funny. Anyway, let's listen to the rest of this guy.
Oh, yeah. God, this guy's so ignorant.
People who are retiring, whose benefits have declined. Is this market manipulation?
No.
Why not?
Talking about.
If it was a plan, if it was always the
And
plan,
he's like,
how
what
is
the
this
hell is
not
he
market
talking about, Chip?
manipulation?
It's not market manipulation, sir.
Well, then what is it? Because it sure is not a strategy.
We're trying to
God.
reset the global trade system.
You're,
That has
Right.
offshored all of our factories.
and what has that
and
done?
offshored all of
How
our
have you
jobs.
done? How have you achieved
He's just an interrogation. He doesn't want the guy to answer.
God.
any of that?
This guy's so
But to
clueless.
enact enormous harm on the American people, which was our concern from the very beginning. Tariffs are a tool. It can be used in the appropriate way to protect U.S. jobs and small businesses. But that's not what this does.
Okay. Please enlighten us.
So if it's not market manipulation, what is it? Who's benefiting? What billionaire just got richer?
Oh,
And all the while, there are not even any Republicans left in this hearing. They all left because they don't
Yep.
even want to defend this. But meanwhile, the speaker
'Cause
is
they know
rushing
it's a
to
joke.
the floor to pass a budget reconciliation to screw America by passing the biggest tax cut in history on the backs of the American people. WTF? Who's it?
Did he just say the biggest tax cut on the American people? Did he know? Did he realize he said? Did I hear that right? Hang on a second.
This. But meanwhile, the speaker is rushing to the floor to pass a budget reconciliation to screw America by passing the biggest tax cut in history.
yep.
Well, here's the. Yeah, that's exactly what he is passing the biggest one. By the way,
My
you notice that when the Democrat was Congress, they didn't get rid of the tax cut, Jeff. You know that they never screwed with the tax cut. Congress, they owned Congress, the House and the Senate, but they didn't do away with that. Why? Because they said it was for millionaires and billionaires. Truth be told, I remember that when in effect, everybody was happy, like they had more in their paycheck every week. So it was a huge tax cut. But they always positioned. But if it was millionaires and billionaires, why didn't they repeal it? They could have. Weird how they never even went there. So it expired when Trump obviously came in. So now they're passing it again. If people watch their income go up, if their paycheck, all of a sudden more taxes are taken out, they get less money every week.
On the backs of the American people?
This is the best thing. This is the best thing. You got this angry dude sitting there crying. He's complaining. Angry Dems in there. And meanwhile, everybody took off. They're like, damn, let's get out of here. There's
Nobody's
nobody left
in
in
there.
there. The
Nobody's
camera
in there.
pans. This
Not
guy's
Republicans, not Democrats.
bad guy screaming at the sky.
WTF?
This is the best part. Like, Jeff, can we have that as our soundbite? WTF?
Oh, we need to have that.
He said it like 3 times. We'll have different versions of it. WTF?
Oh,
I love it. We'll just that'll be our new
The
soundbite.
American people?
Here it is. Ready? Hang on.
WTF?
WTF?
Who's in charge?
His name is Donald J. Trump. He's the 47th president of the United States. He's in charge.
Because it sure doesn't look like it's the trade representative. You just got the rug pulled out from under you.
Oh my God.
I wish I could feel some empathy, but the empathy I have is for the American people whose very well-being and livelihoods are being affected. This is not a game.
This guy's
This
out of
is
his
real
mind.
life.
We had a dip in the market for 2 days, Jeff, and this guy's going out of his mind.
The
2 days.
record reflect
Crypto
that there's
market came
more
raging back.
Republicans in this chamber than there are Democrats currently in this committee.
Okay, hang on a second. Here we go. Check this out.
Than there are
This is interesting. He wants the record to reflect because he's misstated it.
Republicans.
There's more Republicans there than there are Democrats.
The record reflect that there's more Republicans in this chamber than there are Democrats currently in this committee room. There's 6 of us. There's 5 of you. So let's make sure we get the facts right. I appreciate
That's
the
right.
president did not blink on China, as was said earlier, and it needs to be corrected in the record. In fact, he increased China by 125%.
Good job, sir.
Would you
Yakum.
yield, Mr. Chairman?
I do not.
Is
Can we
his
have a
name Mo?
colloquy?
No.
We don't want to talk about the trade policy
No.
here in the trade committee. That this is our
No.
jurisdiction.
Your time has expired, and I'm more than
I asked
happy to
if you
talk
would
to you.
yield.
And I said no.
Because you don't want to defend the policy or the strategy. Kick me out. What you gonna do?
Mr.
He's trying not to laugh because someone yelled WTF. Listen to this, Jeff. He almost laughed. Watch this. See, he's like,
What you gonna do?
You're recognized.
WTF? What you gonna
Someone
do?
yelled WTF.
Oh my God, we got to get that WTF.
Mr. Yakum, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is adjourned. Let's get the F out of here.
Oh my
WTF.
God.
That was great.
WTF.
WTF. So anytime something goes off, we'll play that.
We need to get that.
WTF. We got to get that, Jeff.
You gotta
cut that out of there. They shut his mic off. WTF.
God.
He said WTF again.
WTF.
Like,
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
This was so funny, man. I mean, I was like, what is he talking about? This guy's going out of his mind. He's going crazy just talking, man. I mean, I just really don't even know what's going on with the Dems anymore. They're just out of their minds. Like, they just keep digging deeper holes nonstop. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. They're out of their minds, Jeff. I mean, quite honestly. This is a question that was asked of Trump, and then we got to do the drawing and get out of here. But this was a good question here.
And Nancy Pelosi, they've been talking about tariffs for decades. How come when these Democrat elites want tariffs, everything's hunky-dory, but when President Trump wants tariffs, all hell breaks loose? Do you see this double standard?
I love this guy, whoever the hell that is. That's really nice. I appreciate that question. No, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, everybody knew you had to do it, but they never had the guts to do it. It does take guts. It even takes guts for our country to go through it. That's why I say be cool. They were saying about, see, just be cool. It's going to work out.
You should put that out today. It's like, be cool. Everything's going to be great. Be cool, my babies.
It's going to work out, and it's working out. I can tell you, working out maybe faster than I thought. But I said it's I
mean, it's working out. He said, just be cool. I mean, this thing they thought were going to drag out over. Everybody showed up. Everybody wanted a seat at the table. And they want to negotiate. Great.
Dude.
Except no surprise, China did not want to negotiate. And is anybody surprised about that? No.
Of course. I mean, China has their own agenda. China has been waging a trade war against us for many, many years, including stealing all of our intellectual property rights. Nobody did anything. No president did anything. No administration did anything. Our Congress didn't do anything to save it. The Senate didn't do anything to save it.
Nothing.
Nobody did anything to step up, to take China on. They were afraid of China. They refused to do anything. And this is where we sit, So finally, now it's just like, put it all out there in the light. Let's see exactly what's happening. And let's bring this to reality, And you get this. It just, man, it's about time that this stuff had happened. Palantir is up 19% today. 19%. Palantir came back, roaring back up $14 to $92. It went down so much, but the whole market, Tesla is up 22% today. Nvidia is up 18%. Microsoft with their up 10%. Apple 15%. Everything came roaring back. People that bought the dip are living it large. They're just so excited.
This is spot on right here, Jeff. Nobody in this country is buying the left-hearted BS. They think they'll do this crapoid hold on to power. Yeah, exactly. This is a good one too. Sad that the people fall for these bad actors. This is from E4 Rockin'. The script is so obvious, and the worst actors run/influence the most easily manipulated. Mr. Burns, excellent. Yeah, okay.
Excellent.
Joe Buddy about the dip. Smart guy. There you go.
Good job.
No fried rice for Mr. Smithson. He's out. Kofifi. Yes, bring him back
to China. Wasn't China giving away plastic rice? They
were doing that. Yeah, they put chemicals in the clothes. They do everything. John Doe says, "I love the confidence our country is showing right now. Like Trump said, everyone feels the pressure to make a move like this, but it's a winner for everybody." Well said. Well said.
That's right. All right. Here we go, Chip.
Here we go. Ready?
Here we go. Hang on. Before
you got 26. Got 26.
Before you do the drawing, we're gonna make it 30 because I'm gonna play this little.
Guys, type in Yeti if you haven't. If you did, it will only pick it up.
Bring the badass Yeti from Blue Tri. Word of the day. Have your thumb in the wallet ready. Why? Because this one's gonna be epic. Time to claim your legendary Blue Tribe Yeti. Pathfinders. Name John Saxa. Let's go. On the chain. Badass Yetis!
Yeti.
Right.
Yeti.
Oh, look, not one was at it.
Yeti.
Area 1.
Yeti the Jeti.
Pick out of 26.
Ready to go? We got 26. Here we go, guys. Let's go. Click, 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 click.
Show
Here it
buttons.
goes. Come on. Who's going to win it? Who is it going to be? Clickety, click, click, click. Oh, we won, Jeff.
Yay, we win.
We told you we were rigging
Thank you
it.
very much. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Come back tomorrow night and try again. This is what I hate when I type stuff in there because I say type Yeti and I typed Yeti, so I'm part of the winner. Good news is I told you we were rigging
We
it.
win, Chip. We
Yay,
win.
we won. Well, it's good because we
This
don't
is
own
the
anything,
first
so
time we've ever won.
I'm glad we have something. All right, we're gonna draw again, guys. Sorry, false start. The good news is we can't win again. So I just like seeing on the chain live won something.
We win. Winner, winner. Now we have one.
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, it's so slow.
Boom. Reborn John. Boom. Reborn John. Reborn John. Gets John Saxon. John Saxon. John Saxon.
John Saxon.
You didn't see your name, but it doesn't necessarily play everyone's name. It's just it's running through an algorithm.
But is Reborn John here?
Winner, winner, chickenless dinner.
John is here. Boom. Look how fast he is. Look at that.
Dude, Reborn John is not messing around.
Quick.
I knew Smithson was going to call it rigged. I knew it.
He's quick.
Rigged. Here he is. Rigged.
Oh, I forgot what I was looking for. I got to go and find it now.
He didn't call it. You didn't call it. He called it. He called it.
WTF, John Saxton.
WTF, John Saxon. John Saxon. Holy cow, man. That's too funny, right?
You know what's going to be in the next song? John Saxton.
John Saxon's coming big time. There it is. You got the wallet there and everything, Jeff. This is phenomenal.
Got the wallet. Reborn. Oops. I don't know what I'm doing tonight here.
I'm going to play this because you remember Mark Cuban said that Mark Cuban was talking about there's no strong, powerful women around Trump.
Oh, that's right.
There's two right here.
Hello to Brooke. Well, look at Brooke. She got the cost of eggs down 87%. 87% governor. We have somebody that's done a great job at Department of Agriculture, and Kristi Noem, who perhaps a few of you have heard of. She has done the most unbelievable job as somebody that's watching over our country at the border, and with Tom Homan and your whole staff of tremendous people. So thank you. Who would think that she is like meant for that job, huh? She's meant for it. So I just saw you there both. Thank you very much.
This guy reminds me somehow of Prince. What's the older prince over there? What's his name? It's not Andrew. What's his name? He kind of reminds me of him. He looks like he's like he should be his evil twin or something. I don't know. When I look at that dude, I kind of see that. Laughing my ass off. Time for a stogie and a drink. Did well with the Trumpster today. Yeah, hell yeah. WTF, says Alex. WTF. And Alex, this is great. Byron Daniels was on today. This is Byron Daniels.
This economy in the world, Stu, everyone wants access to American markets. So we actually have a ways to go in this. I think that the president and his team are actually doing a great job here. You could already see other nations are coming to the United States or coming here to Washington to meet with the president and his team to try to negotiate out a deal that's going to work for either for countries and for the United States.
See, we have the smartest. It's Prince William. Harry's the younger one. Harry's the one that left.
Okay, here we go.
Prince William. John Saxon.
All right.
Out of here.
Go.
See you later, John Saxon.
John Saxton.
Who's going to be the first one to change their name to John Saxon? I'm like, that'll be coming in here, but John Saxon will be in tomorrow. I think it's going to be Reborn John. Reborn John will rebrand it. He'll put John Saxon up there and he'll change his name to John Saxon. So there you go.
Oh, he just won it. He just won John Saxton.
As I'm saying, he's entitled.
John Saxton.
All right, guys, that's all we have for tonight. I mean, we'll be back on Saturday. Saturday, we have Panos. We'll be in here. It's going to be a great interview. We're going to be excited about that. So we'll be chatting with Panos, and it's going to be awesome. Byron is a beast. Absolutely. Byron, yeah. I mean, I thought he would have made a great VP. But he's going to make a great Florida governor, 2-term governor. He's going to be fantastic. So there you go. WTF. Change my avatar to John Saxon. John Saxon, baby. Fraidy cat. Don't be a fraidy cat. All right, guys, that's it. We are out of here. I do mean it
out.
this time. It's 1:19. We ran a little long. That happens. What are you gonna do? So we'll see you guys in the next one.
We'll run a little short.
Chip and Jeff. Say it, Jeff. Chip and Jeff.
Out. We're out of here.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.